Hey y'all, welcome to the Second of Strength podcast. My name is Tanner Clark. I went from sitting at a desk to speaking on stage internationally to inspire teenagers and people like you. My goal is simple: help you find your 1 second of strength to walk away from the things that are holding you back, to step into your potential, and ultimately find happiness. Thank you for spending your valuable seconds with me today. Let's go. What is going on? Welcome to the Second of Strength podcast. Wherever you are, I'm grateful that you're spending your valuable seconds with me today. I want to talk a little bit about happiness today. And really the question I have for you is happiness a choice? I've been thinking a lot about this. I posted something on Instagram and, most people agree happiness is a choice. I believe it's something that you can control. I'll go more into that a little bit because on the surface, that statement may not be exact, or you may not agree with that. However, I got a lot of comments there that people were like, no, it's not a choice. What about the people that are depressed? What about my teen that's struggling right now? Someone asked like, well, what if someone you loved died, or someone that you loved, was going through something hard, or maybe you were diagnosed with cancer and things like that. And I want to be really sensitive here because I know that hard things happen. Life is really tough for some people. And this is not a conversation of is life tough, is life not tough, because it's hard for everyone. And I believe that everybody has different challenges and everybody is facing different things. But in that midst of that struggle, like my struggle is my struggle. And I may not have some illness or I may not be dealing with some of the same things that you are, but my challenges are my challenges and your challenges are your challenges. And we all face challenges. We are all going through hard things. Life is hard. Life is a struggle. There is no doubt about that. And we have all the feels. Like we do feel feelings of sadness. We do have feelings of struggle and pain. And this is like the human experience. We have all of these things. At the same time, I am also not saying that you have to be happy all the time and that there's this pursuit of like always being like smiling happy. That is not real either. That's not real life. However, I believe that you get to choose how you go through trials. You get to choose how you view the world. You get to choose the things that you're going to allow to hold you back, or you're going to choose to change your perspective and move forward. And that, to me, is where I say that we are in control of our happiness. We do get to choose happiness, because I think happiness is really these feelings of joy, contentment, positive well-being. And there's a thought that sometimes genetics are like you have a happy disposition because of your genetics. I don't know that I believe that fully. I think it's part of it. I believe that your circumstances are part of it. But then I believe that there's this whole other world that is choice. And you get to choose despite the hardships, despite the trials, despite the things that you're going through, what you get to focus on. I had a friend the other day tell me, share that his granddaughter, or his daughter-in-law, is going through cancer. And she's going to have more surgeries and different things like that. And they got in the car the other day and she said, isn't it crazy how blessed we are? And, we get to have these things, we get to view, and like her view of the world was just totally different despite her hardships. That's what I'm talking about. We get to choose our view of the world. And so I hope that coming out of this podcast, hopefully you listen to it, hopefully you share it with somebody, but coming out of it, I hope that you choose you. I hope that you choose to have the right perspective on your life, because you deserve to feel joy. You deserve to feel contentment. You deserve that in your life, but it comes down to the choices we make and how we go through the trials that we have, how we accept our place in life and move forward, because we don't get to choose all the things. But I always say, and I tell teenagers when I speak in schools, we don't get to choose what happens to us, but we can always choose our reaction. We always get to choose that and how we go through it. So a few things that I hope that you consider changing in your life if you aren't feeling happy, if you're sad, if you're struggling, if you're feeling those feelings, which are fine to feel because we all feel them. However, we can move through them. We can't stay in that place. We can't dwell in that place. If we stay in the darkness and we stay in a negative spot, then we're in a little bit of trouble. We need to push through that. We need to allow light into our lives. We need to allow light to emanate in us and through us so that we can then help other people as well. Because one of the greatest things about being happy, or one of the things that helps us be the happiest most, is helping other people. But if we are constantly in this place of the world is against me and woe is me and my life sucks, then it's really hard to help other people. So I hope if you are in that place, I hope that this podcast helps you adjust some of that mentality, to have some of these mental shifts so that we can come out of this a better person, in a better place, and get to the place that we want to be. Because where we are now, if we are struggling, is not necessarily we want to be. So we can get through this. You can get through this. You can make it through, even though it might take time, even though it's difficult, but you can. So the first thing that I would recommend, if you are struggling, if there is pain, if there is sadness, change your environment. This could be as simple as getting up, going outside, enjoying some sunlight, go on a walk it off, because where you are physically can change where you are mentally. Where you are physically can change where you are mentally. And sometimes it's as simple as getting outside, getting some vitamin D, feeling that fresh air, taking deep breaths, and allowing yourself to feel different in that moment. Because when we change where we are physically, we change where we are mentally, and it allows us to think clearer. It allows us to think differently. It allows us to change our perspective in that way. So go outside, just change where you are, get up and move. Maybe it's exercise, but allowing these endorphins to fire in different ways in our brain can help overcome those other feelings that are weighing us down. Does it make the pains go away? No. Does it make the trials disappear magically? No. But it will give you the power to think differently about them so that you can move through them in a way that is conducive for your growth, for your joy, for your contentment, and for your happiness. That's what we want to do when we change our environment. So the second way to change and control your happiness is change your relationships. If you are in a relationship that is not serving you and it is causing you pain, could be a friend, could be a boyfriend, a girlfriend, could be someone you're crushing on, could be a spouse, who knows, any type of relationship that is causing you pain, it's time to change. Now, I want to be really clear about this. Change does not mean necessarily walking away. Maybe it does. That's up to you. But change might mean taking the steps you need to strengthen that relationship. It might mean going to therapy for yourself or as a couple with other people. It could be talking with, so if it's a friend and you're struggling with that relationship, it might be reaching out and saying, hey, can we talk for a minute? Because that person's probably having a similar thought, but just too scared to reach out. You can always find your 1 second of strength and, send a text message to do that hard thing. Type it out, 1 second, strength, push send. And that's going to help you. So, because here's the thing. Strengthening relationships is one of the best ways to change your relationship. It doesn't mean everything's toxic, walk away. That's not what I'm saying. It might be, and that's for you to decide, but it could be strengthen your relationship because sometimes the relationships that we're in that might be causing us pain or might be struggling, they are the things worth fighting for. But it's about change. Controlling your happiness means changing your relationships, means taking those steps, means working towards those things and those outcomes so that you can be, and the other person can be better on the other side. So don't just think I'm saying, break up with your boyfriend, break up with your girlfriend, get a divorce. That is not what I'm saying. But I am saying you can work through it, and you can work through it together, and you can find that positive outcome, because joy and contentment comes through work. Joy and contentment, being content, comes through the satisfaction of knowing that you've done everything you can to fight for what you know is right. That's what it comes from. And if you can do that in your life, you're going to be happier. Just naturally, you're going to be happier. So that's number 2, change your relationships. Number 3, change your perspective. It is easy to spiral down into the darkness. It is easy when things aren't going good to think that everything is not going good and the world is against you and life sucks and we just stay in this dark place and it's just one thing after another, after another, and after another. But it's just as easy and a choice to look on the bright side. It is just as easy and a choice to find gratitude in the pain. It is just as easy to find gratitude in the hurt. What it comes down to is you making a choice to find that gratitude despite the challenges and things you're going through. I had an experience this week. I was driving my daughter and her friend to school. I try and do that as often as I can. And so I'm driving into school and I made a comment. I said, man, it is so dark right now. Just because we're leaving at the same time, but it's getting winter time here in the United States, and so it's dark early or dark later, I guess. And so I'm picking these kids up in the dark where before it was like bright and sunny, right? So I said, man, it is so dark outside. And my daughter's sweet little friend just said, at least the sun's not in our eyes. And I was like, dang it, you're right. I am looking on the dark side. I am looking at the pessimistic side of life. And you just brought to my attention that there is a bright side and there is gratitude even in the dark. There is gratitude literally in the dark. But you have to be willing to find it. You have to be willing to open your eyes to it and see the good in the bad. You have to be willing to walk that line and choose that perspective in your life. And too many times we don't do that. Too many times we just pile on, we come down negatively on ourselves, and we live in this world of hurt and pain. And it's not fair to you, because even in the hurt and pain, there is joy and good. Even in the hurt and pain, there is joy and good. And if you are struggling today, I feel for you. If you are going through something today that does not seem like there is, light at the end of the tunnel, I feel for you, because these things are real. Anxiety is real. Depression is real. Sadness is real. This stuff is all real. And this is not a judgment of you, because I go through things too. The other day at work, I was not in a good place. I got up, changed my environment, and I walked. I went on a walk. I went to lunch. I ate lunch in a restaurant by myself just so I could be away. I listened to some good music, and I went back a happier person. So if you are struggling, I know it's real, but you are designed to be able to climb and overcome the things that you are facing in your life. You have everything you need inside of you to overcome those challenges. You have everything you need deep down to fight for your life, and you are worth it. I need you to know that you are worth it. You are worth that fight. You are worth finding joy. You are worth finding contentment. You are worth finding happiness. And it might be hard and it might take time, and you might not be able to do it on day one. But if you change your environment, you change your relationships, you change your perspective, it will change your relationship with yourself. You will change. So the question is happiness a choice? And I believe it is. And I believe that in any given moment, you can find your 1 second of strength to change something. In any given moment, you can find your 1 second of strength and change something to choose happy. So I leave this podcast in the same way every time. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope it helped you. If you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss another episode, and leave a review for the show. And as always, go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.